Hey guys, this is Trav Max Fun and welcome back to my channel, and today is the beginning of Springy Spring Week 2023. So today officially marks the beginning of Springy Spring Week 2023. This is part 1/1, and so Springy Spring Week has officially begun. Springy Spring Week this year will run from today, March 29th, and it will end I'm planning on ending it May 7th. So March 29th to May 7th. But of course, things could change, but that's what I have as planned as of now. So, yeah. But to kick off Springy Spring Week, I am going to do my review, finally, on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I was originally going to do this back in February, where I reviewed the first Ant-Man. I was going to do Ant-Man reviews leading up to Quantumania, but of course that didn't happen. And I'm sorry about the lack of uploads this month, guys. But I hope to still upload a couple more videos at least before the month ends, because Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary celebration ends in 2 days, and I want to do a couple videos. I'm going to do some videos in honor of that, I want to do some Walt Disney World videos because of that. So you can probably expect Walt Disney World 50th anniversary or Walt Disney World related videos in the next couple of days, and I'll most likely still be doing Walt Disney World 50th anniversary related videos in early April, in the month of April. So yeah, but once again, guys, I'm very sorry for the lack of uploads this month, but I'll try, and because I know there has been lots of Disney news, theme park news recently, but I'll try and post throughout the month of April, because April is going to be a big month. But anyways, with all that out of the way, let's get back to the main focus of the video, my movie review on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This is probably just going to be a quick review, so let's begin. And as for spoilers, I don't know if I'm going to be mentioning any spoilers in this or not, but if you're worried I'm going to spoil anything and you haven't seen this film yet, click off the video now. And yeah, all right, let's begin. So, Ant-Man and the Wasp. My thoughts. Did I say Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania earlier when I meant to say Ant-Man and the Wasp? I don't know. Anyways, Ant-Man and the Wasp. What are my thoughts on Ant-Man and the Wasp? It's a fun movie. I remember really enjoying it when I first saw it back in the theater and rewatching it in 2018. But when rewatching it this year to prepare for Quantumania, I kind of had different thoughts on the film. I still really enjoyed it. It's a fun movie, but I do have a few negatives with the film. The cast is great. This film has an all-star cast, has a great cast. Of course, Louise and the crew, they're the scene stealers in this. There's some great moments in this film. There's some great moments in this film. Paul Rudd, of course, as Scott Lang, great as always. What else? Yeah, great moments in this film. Some great action as well. There's some really clever moments during the action sequences. The final battle, the climax. I remember really loving it when I first watched it back in the theater and rewatching it in 2018. But the climax is still kind of pretty exciting. Really enjoyed the climax. It's still pretty exciting. Pretty exciting climax. Even though there's nothing big going on, it's still it's still a pretty exciting climax. In my opinion, it's a exciting climax in a smaller scale film that released after a big, massive film, Avengers Infinity War. This film released back in 2018. But the climax, it's a nice climax, an exciting climax, and a nice climax for a much more smaller scale film. No pun intended. Um, so yeah, so the climax, final battle, action sequence is pretty exciting. And yeah, overall, this is just a fun film. Fun as the first Ant-Man film. And yeah, it also has some heartfelt moments in here too. We also get to meet some new characters. Of course, Jimmy Woo. We meet Jimmy Woo in this film, who eventually became one of the best MCU characters, or one of the funnest MCU characters. Yeah, and then of course we eventually saw him in WandaVision. Yeah, so overall, it's a nice, solid MCU film. Now, let's get to the negatives I have with this film, and I actually kind of do have a few negatives with the film. Now, I rewatched this film back in February, so, or last month, really. So, I can't really remember all of the negatives I have with the film, but I do know one negative I have with the film. It's probably my biggest critique was the film, and that is the story. The story is kind of all over the place. It's pretty messy. It's just all over the place. Yeah, it's just all over the place. We have like multiple different like little storylines and stuff. We have like one group. Yeah, there's this one group who is going after Scott, Hope, and Hank. After their lab. Then we have Ghost, who is the villain of the film. And she's also trying to get the lab. And then on top of that, we have Jimmy Woo and the FBI, because Scott is on house arrest Scott's on house arrest in this film because of the events of Captain America Civil War. So we have that little storyline, and then it all ties together with the main storyline trying to go down to the quantum realm to rescue Janet. And so the story is just all over the place, pretty messy. Trying to think. I can't remember what else. I honestly can't remember what other negatives I have with the film. Maybe the writing, possibly. Maybe some of the writing is, I don't know. I should have rewatched this film before doing this review, but I don't know. So overall, my biggest critique was the film, though. The story, it's pretty messy. So overall, Ant-Man and the Wasp. So overall, my overall thoughts on Ant-Man and the Wasp. Overall, to sum up my thoughts, it's a solid MCU film. It's a fun MCU film. But it does have, it's a solid MCU film. It's a fun MCU film. It's definitely more smaller scale. This film, once again, came out in 2018 after this big, massive film, Avengers Infinity War. This film is kind of like the dessert after that film. Like, Avengers Infinity War was the big event. It was the main entree. It was the main entree, and then we have Ant-Man and the Wasp, a much more smaller film, much more heartfelt film, and is pretty much the dessert after the main entree, which was Avengers Infinity War. So yeah, but it's a fun MCU film. It's got heart. It's got great comedy and jokes. Of course, the scene stealers is Louise and the crew. Paul Rudd as Scott Lang. It's great. And yeah, it's not a perfect MCU film, of course, but it's a fun, nice, solid MCU film. And overall, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah. So that basically sums up my thoughts on the film. Yeah, this was just going to be a quick review. This probably is like 11 minutes, but that's pretty much all I have to say was my thoughts and stuff. And yeah, this really wasn't a review. It was basically just my thoughts on Ant-Man and the Wasp. So yeah, but just wanted to get this video out of the way because I've been delaying it for a while now, and now I finally am doing it. And yeah, so you can probably expect my Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania review hopefully soon, and then after that, most likely a ranking of all 3 Ant-Man films. So yeah, so that was just my quick thoughts review on Ant-Man and the Wasp. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This was the beginning of Springy Spring Week. And yeah, so lots of exciting stuff coming up. So be sure to stay tuned on the channel. Hopefully I hope to post more throughout the rest of this month and throughout the month of April. So yeah. So that's it for this video here. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time on Trav Max Fun. Please like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.